Welcome to this session on mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. What we'll be doing today is going through a series of practices, just give a taste of each one. It's a sequence that you can then take with you. This is being recorded so you can play it again and go through and spend a little more time with each practice. The earlier ones, if you're a beginner, spend more time on the earlier ones. If you have experience with this, go through the early ones to set the ground for the rest of the practice. Now, when we're doing mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice, it's important to understand that, as with everything, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the attitude that we take at the beginning is very important. And it's the attitude, ideally, that we're not just doing this for ourselves, because we're not totally independent beings. We operate in society. And this isn't something that we're doing just to go off and do our meditation and feel good for a little while and then just dive back in with our old habitual patterns. This is to train ourselves to be able to be more mindful, meaning more attentive, more present, and authentic in our expression, and genuine in our responsiveness to others. So we set the intention when we begin that we're not just doing this for ourselves, but so that we can improve ourselves to be of more benefit to others. Then when we do the practice, it's devoting ourselves to actually doing it and not just paying it lip service or going through the motions, but really working on how we can be more authentic, more honest with ourselves, and have more integrity in our relationship with others. Then at the end, when we're done with the practice, we recall our intention from the beginning and set our aspirations for the rest of the day, for the rest of our lives, for however long we have in mind, that we're going to try to sustain this quality of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion as much as we can throughout the day. And it's important to say as much as we can rather than to do it perfectly, because we want to be mindful, aware, and compassionate to ourselves as well. So let's get started. And to begin with, we want to establish a connection with our own body, because to be most effective in the world, our body and minds have to be synchronized. Our body is always in the here and now. Our mind is very often someplace else in the present, or off into the past, into the future, our own mental time machine. So to connect that way, rather than being in our heads and our bodies just an appendage in a certain way, we want to fully inhabit our body. Now, to do that, it's helpful to have a good posture. So I'm going to go through the steps of that. Whether you're seated on a chair or a cushion, you want to feel your sit bones pressing in and really sink into the seat that you're on. As far as your legs are concerned, it's helpful because we're sitting up. And traditionally, the practice is done sitting up because there's a tendency, if you're lying down, to fall asleep. And there's a tendency, if you're standing up, to want to move. So sitting is putting ourselves in neutral. We sit, and it's helpful for sitting up to have our knees a little bit lower than our hips, and that so that we can sit up straight without a strain on our lower back or legs. So if you're in a cushion, you cross your legs and make sure that the cushion is a high enough support that your knees are a little below your hips. And if you're in a chair, if it's a high enough chair, you can put your feet flat on the floor about hip width apart, with your lower legs perpendicular to the floor. But if your legs are long or you're in a low chair, just cross your legs loosely in front of you, again, so that the knees are a little below the hips. For our torso, we want to feel like we have a firm, upright back, but a soft and open front. So we can imagine a straight line from, and it's not straight because our spine has some curvature to it, but a straight line from our tailbone to the back of the top of our head. And I'll turn this a little sideways so you can see. So a straight line in the back of the top of our head. It's slightly taut, but not rigid. So the idea is to set it that way and then relax around it. We want to feel like our spine is like the tent pole and the rest of our body like the canvas hanging from the top of that tent pole before it's stretched out. Now, we want to be sitting up straight, and the only way to feel that is to tilt a little bit left and right until we feel like we're not tilted left or right. That's the only way we can feel center. And tilt a little bit forward and back until that's the neutral feeling that we have. That's centered. And what we want to do in that situation, for your arms, let them hang straight down from your shoulders, and then leave the elbows where they are and swivel your hands up, palm down on top of your thighs, each one respectively. Don't cross over, just right palm down on your right thigh. Wherever they land, with your elbows, your upper arms straight down. Now there's an experience you can have with your chest, and that is your breastbone goes from a notch up here to a notch at the top of the bottom of the breastbone is a notch in the rib cage there, and up here in your collarbone. And about halfway in between, there's a little tender spot. That center of your breastbone, center of your chest, just move it a little bit forward and a little bit up on a diagonal, a tiny bit forward, a tiny bit up. And what you'll find, you could hear my breath. As I move up, it opens up your chest, your shoulders come back a little naturally, your chin comes in naturally. It does a tremendous amount for your posture just to move that point a tiny bit up and forward. Now we have open chest, which connects with open heart and firm back, which connects with stability. So we're stable, but open. We want our jaw to be relaxed, but not hanging open. So your lips can be just slightly parted or very lightly touching. Your tongue can just rest however it is, or if you're comfortable, let it float up. So the tip of your tongue is just touching just behind your front teeth. And to begin embodying ourselves, fully inhabiting our bodies, let your eyes gently close. Move your energy, move your awareness down to your toes. Wiggle them. We don't pay much attention to our toes. Feel your arches, your instep and your heel. Move your feet, move your ankles a little bit. These are your feet. They carry you wherever you want to go. So we can pay a little more attention to them. When we're walking, we can walk mindfully and be aware of how our weight is being carried on our feet. Feel your calves, shins, knees, thighs, the big muscles of your thighs, your hamstrings, all the way into your hip joints. Just move your legs a little, alternate forward and back, and feel how your legs connect to your torso at the hip joints. Feel your torso, the pelvic girdle all around, lower back, deep belly, rib cage, chest and back. You can feel your breath coming in, filling you and emptying. But feel not just that you have a length of your torso, a width of your torso, but there's also a depth. We walk around sometimes like two-dimensional beings. We're three-dimensional beings. There's a distance between the front of your chest and the back of your back. Feel that depth. Your rib cage is an oval, it's not flat. Feel your torso expand as the breath comes in, contract as the breath goes out. Now your shoulders. This is where your arms connect with your torso. Roll your shoulders a little bit. Feel the movement. Feel your upper arms, your forearms and your hands. Wiggle your fingers. Now that's all of your limbs and how that joins up with your torso. Now we're fully inhabiting our body, our neck and head on top of our shoulders. Move your shoulders a little bit, turn your head a little bit. Feel that relationship without tilting your head forward or tilting it back. The back of your head extending straight up. Feel how it relates to your shoulders. Great. Okay, now we have our good posture. We're fully embodied, feeling alive. Our body is alive. Very often there are hidden areas of tension that we're not even aware of. So let's scan our bodies from the top of our head down our forehead and our scalp, cheekbones, eyes and cheekbones, ears and jaw. Sometimes we're holding tension in our jaw. We go around, certainly at night, people are clenching their jaws a lot. But in the daytime, we might be clenching and not even aware of it. Just soften. Let your jaw soften without your mouth hanging open. Tension in the neck and shoulders. People walk around with their shoulders near their ears and you say relax and they say I am relaxed and you push their shoulders down and they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So to experience that, just raise your shoulders up, tense them up towards your ears, and don't push down, but just let go. Oh, let them just hang there. Let the tension in your neck and your shoulders melt, flow down and out of you, as if you're just letting the tension flow down and out of you into the earth. Shoulders, upper arms, chest and upper back, rib cage all around, lower back and deep belly. We have our deep belly and our genital or pelvic area. Sometimes we're clenching there and don't realize it. And you may notice to let go of the tension in your deep belly, your posture wants to kind of collapse. So without losing your posture, hold firm back and soften that deep belly. Firm back, open and soft front. hips, thighs, forearms, and hands. Are you holding your legs up or just letting them fall into position? Let go of the tension in your hands. Let them just rest on your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Usually not too much tension down there. But sometimes when we get caught in thoughts, we find our toes wiggling. Just let everything relax. Sink down and let your awareness, too much we feel like we're in our head and our mind is behind our forehead. Let your mind just drop down. Imagine that it's going down behind your throat, behind your chest. Your awareness is dropping down behind your solar plexus and then down into the deep core of your torso, a couple of inches below your navel, just in front of your spine. It's quiet down there. Just gentle movement as the breath goes in and out, and there's a gentle expanding and contracting. And that's where we're going to rest our attention for a few minutes. Just feel that gentle expanding and contracting deep in your torso. Let your eyes open about halfway. So you're looking down, not at something, and you may want to turn away from your screen so that you're not looking directly at it. So there's some space in front of you. Looking down under your eyelids, just a few feet in front of you and around to the sides, you can see that's the space your body is sitting in. We want to be aware of our body in that space and the feeling of expanding and contracting inside, deep in our torso. We're just going to rest our minds on those sensations, on that awareness of the space. Where your eyes aren't focused tightly wherever they rest, just soften your gaze. It's like you're looking at the space, you're seeing the space rather than looking at something. Now, since we're really not doing anything but noticing what we're feeling, noticing the space we're sitting in, our mind might get caught up in a series of thoughts that take us away into a daydream. And that's natural. That happens because our mind likes to be busy. But we're telling it it's okay to rest. So when you realize you've gone off into a daydream, just smile because you're already back. They don't last forever. And reconnect with your posture, the space you're sitting in, the feeling of filling, expanding and contracting as you fill and empty with the breath. We'll do that for a few minutes. If you've gotten sleepy, just raise your gaze a bit and feel your chest expanding and contracting as the breath comes in and out. If your mind was wild and you've been just off in thoughts a lot, focus deeper in your core of your torso and try to notice the subtle changes starting to fill, filling, and full, and the transition to starting to empty, emptying, and empty. In any case, don't force your breath in any way, just be an observer. Whether it's deep or shallow, short or long, it might get very quiet. Just notice the subtleties. And relax. Move around a little bit if you need to. It's okay to do short periods of practice and then just take a fresh start. Now, this phase is less centralized and more connecting to the environment. So raise your gaze just slightly below horizon, slightly below horizontal, and open up your peripheral vision. Open up to the whole space that you're sitting in, above, below. When you soften your gaze and open up that way, you can have some awareness of light fixtures in the ceiling, your lap below you, the walls on and furniture on each side. Big space. Our breath goes out into that space. And you want to be breathing mainly through your nose in this. Always breathe in through your nose. If some comes out your mouth, that's okay as you exhale. But as you exhale, the breath is going out and it's mixing with the air in the room until it dissolves and becomes part of the atmosphere. As the breath goes out, let your mind open up in the same way. Open up to the environment. Open up to as big a space as you're aware of. And let your mind rest in that openness. Your body breathes in by itself. You can be aware of it, but you don't have to follow it in. What you do is you go out, riding the breath out and opening your mind to the space. So out, open, And then rest in that openness, that spaciousness, as the breath comes in by itself. Out, open, rest in spaciousness. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. Again, if your mind wanders off into a daydream, just smile, and at that moment, you're already back. Just have some awareness, and you can punctuate it by mentally saying, that was wandering or thinking, which is code for I was off in thoughts, but now I'm back. And very often when we go off in thoughts, our posture degrades. So when you realize that, just reconnect with your posture, open front, firm back, out, open into spaciousness, and rest in that spaciousness. and relax. And the next phase of the practice is environmental awareness. So as you go out, open and rest in spaciousness, rather than coming back to start again with the out breath, just stay out there, open and spacious, and let your mind move through the sense perceptions. Notice colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark. Notice sounds near and far. Open up your peripheral hearing the way you open up your peripheral vision. Open up to sounds as far away as you can hear. Near and far, loud and soft, high and low pitch. Open up to bodily sensations. It might even be smells, tastes. And we perceive our own thoughts. So if thoughts drift through your mind, let them come and go. Just notice. Now, if the thought gets hold of you and takes you away into a series of thoughts, into a daydream, again, when you realize it, you're already back. Just smile. Go, that was thinking, meaning I was off in thoughts, and now I'm back. Pick up on another out breath, out, open, and rest in spacious awareness of sense perceptions. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. And relax. Reconnect with your posture. Now we transition to awareness practice, to compassion practice. And compassion practice is not so much a meditation as a contemplation. You can do this either with your eyes open or closed, whichever you're more comfortable. But now you're going to imagine. Imagine in front of you a loved one, family or friend, and you know the things that are making them happy, and you know the things that make them unhappy or suffer. It can be physical, mental, whatever's going on. And feel how much you care about them and how good you feel when they're happy. And as you breathe out, send out that good feeling and share that with them. Breathe out, send them more happiness. And then feel the sadness and pain you feel when you see them suffer. And as you breathe in, imagine that you can take their suffering away and put it in there with yours. That you can contain in your tender heart of compassion. And you might want to start this putting your hand over your chest, where your heart is, your heart center, that tender heart of kindness and compassion. That as you breathe in, you're able to take from them, free them of their suffering, and contain it in your tender heart of compassion, which actually transforms it. And as you breathe out, you radiate out relief, peace, health, contentment. Breathe in struggle, anguish, and pain. Take from them and contain in your tender heart of compassion, and send out to them relief from pain, relief from struggle, feeling of contentment, health, and happiness, peace of mind. Do that for one or more of your loved ones. This is all about imagining the feeling, really feeling. Feel your connection with them. That taking away their pain makes you happy, sending that happiness to them. Now reflect for a moment on your own feeling. How do you feel? If you feel struggle, suffering, physical or mental anguish, gather your own suffering into your heart of compassion for self-compassion. Breathe out to yourself, filling your being with relaxation, relief, peace, health, and happiness. Gather your own pain into your heart of compassion Breathe out cool moonlight of kindness that fills your being with peace, health, and happiness. Now imagine in front and all around you, everyone you've ever met. People you have positive, neutral, and negative relationships with. We all share, living beings, all share the wish to have happiness, the wish to be free from suffering. Imagine that you can breathe in and take away all their suffering. Breathe out happiness to them. Breathe in their causes of suffering, the struggle, negative emotions that they're feeling. Breathe out relief from that, peace, health, feelings of kindness and caring. If you get stuck on somebody you have a difficult time with, that there's anger between you, breathe in their anger and your anger into your heart of compassion. And breathe out patience and acceptance to them and to yourself. Breathe in and absorb whatever negativity there is for yourself and others. And breathe out the opposite. Relief, peace of mind. Kindness and joy. And as best you can, include all beings everywhere in the world, all creatures great and small. And imagine that as you breathe in, you can free all of them from their suffering and the causes of suffering. That the causes of suffering in the world, like greed, hatred, fear, jealousy, anger, attachment, free all beings of those. Breathe out kindness, compassion, joy, peace of mind, health and happiness. Now let go of the imagination. Lower your gaze. Connect back again with your body, with the space you're sitting in. Feeling the breath filling you and emptying. Letting your mind rest quietly in your body. And relax. to conclude, remember our intention at the beginning. That was the good at the beginning. Thank you for your practice. It was good in the middle. And now at the end, let's dedicate that practice to the well-being of others. And you can repeat after me or put in your own words. May the practice we have just done be of benefit to others as well as ourselves. And if you're feeling particularly generous or want to cultivate generosity, you can say, may the practice I've just done be of even more benefit to others than to myself. And thank you very much for your kind attention. That concludes our session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.